Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends will be gathering today at the residence from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., with religious services being held this evening at 7 p.m. Those of you who wish to further honor the memory of Dr. Donna Rockwell Smilovitz may best do so by means of a contribution to Starfish Family Services.
In her poem, There Are Stars, Chana Senesh compares the lifespan of a star to the human condition. What will be shared today is the enduring light that Donna brought into this world. Her life, like the stars in the night sky, was a source of guidance, inspiration, and unwavering hope. So as we remember and celebrate the constellation of her achievements, the brilliance of her spirit, and the enduring legacy she leaves behind, I share with you the words of this poem. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light. Long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we love. Their memory keeps shining, ever brighter though the star itself is gone. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the stars that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember, we remember. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember, we remember. Hem hem shemarim la'adam et haderech, et haderech. Hem hem shemarim la'adam et haderech, et haderech.
So much of the liturgy that is part of a funeral service is familiar. Biblical texts, thousands of years old, that have been spoken so often when family and friends gather to say farewell to someone they love. We begin with the 23rd Psalm. Adonai roi lo echsar b'noteshiyar b'tzeini al mei menuchot yinahaleni. Nafshi yeshovev yancheni v'maglei tzedek leman shemo. Gam ki elech b'geit salmavet lo ira ra ki ata imadi. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And our second reading from the book of Ecclesiastes, again, I'm sure familiar to many. For everything there is a season, a time for every experience under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot what is planted, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance, a time to throw stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to discard, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. Today, speaking on behalf of the family, we have several participants. The first, the dear friend, Katie Couric, followed by sons Jake and Zach and Bernie, and followed by me with whatever is left.
Thank you, Rabbi. I am profoundly grateful and honored to be able to talk about my friend Donna today. I hope I can get through this. I think I'm speaking on behalf of so many of you because this I know to be true. Everyone loved Donna. Ever since I heard the news early Saturday morning, I find that several times during the day, I stop and shake my head in disbelief. How could it be that Donna, this vibrant, radiant light, is gone? Somehow the shock of it all has inured us, the deep grief and heartache that we know will only intensify in the days, weeks, months, and yet, yes, years to come. As I sat down to write this, I realized how difficult it would be to describe this exquisite human being, because what Donna emanated every day of her too short life is almost impossible to put into words. She was a feeling, an essence, a life force. Donna's uncanny ability to listen, to consider, to care deeply, to love unconditionally, to simply be there, was perhaps the greatest of her many gifts. People often describe someone's so-called generosity of spirit. Often it's BS, but with Donna, it was true. So many of us here were the lucky recipients of that generosity. I know I was. Donna and I first met when we were young, ambitious women in our early 20s, interested in embarking on a career in TV news. Now, this was 1980. To give you an idea of how long ago that was, it was the year that Post-it notes, the Rubik's Cube, and Pac-Man were introduced. And we were all watching to see who shot JR. Donna, our good friend Wendy Walker, who is here today, and I all worked in the Washington Bureau of CNN when it was a fledgling new enterprise, imagined by a guy named Ted Turner, who famously said to a group of executives, quote, "We're going to beam this shit all over the world." How inspiring. To say it was a ragtag operation is a massive understatement. We had to do pretty much everything. We applied makeup on our guests, ordered office furniture, bought the Mr. Coffee machine, and fetched the legal pads. Donna worked for CNN's first hire, Daniel Shore, who was senior correspondent. We used to call him Dan Shore, senile correspondent, because we thought he was so old. He was 66. Dan, of course, was a journalistic legend, so working for him was somewhat of a master class in the art of reporting, although by then Dan was doing less reporting and more bloviating. Donna's unflappable nature and quick wit made her the perfect producer and counterweight to Dan's portentousness. They developed a relationship of mutual respect and affection. Donna stayed in touch with the entire Shore family for years after Dan retired. Now, back then, it wasn't always easy being a woman in TV news. I've often said we worked in the industry when harass was 2 words instead of 1. The rabbi liked that. You can only imagine how often our Donna was hit on. My favorite story was when NBC's bald, bespectacled, bow tie-wearing chief economics reporter Irving R. Levine tried to kiss her in a car, and she pushed him away. Good Lord. After Dan, she became a producer on Capitol Hill. That's where she met another young journalist working for the Associated Press named Louise Schiavone. Louise couldn't be here today, but sent me this email about Donna. Louise wrote, "When we met, Donna was a CNN producer covering the United States Senate. Hardworking, energetic, intelligent, inquisitive, and beautiful. Her sparkle could light up a room. We became fast friends, had a million meals together, from the reporter's table in the Senate to Roy Rogers to wonderful Georgetown restaurants. I could tell you today what she loved. Pasta in a lobster champagne sauce from Chef Testa, chicken wings at Roy Rogers, chicken pan fried noodles at an M Street Chinese restaurant." Well, she and Donna did a lot of eating, and Donna apparently really liked chicken. Louise recalled Donna's utter inability to tell a joke, matched only by her ability to laugh at herself. But what really stuck out for Louise was the unrestrained affection Donna showed her closest friends. Louise was right, unrestrained affection. And I know for a fact Donna was one of those rare creatures who was happy, truly happy, without one scintilla of jealousy or resentment when good things happened to the people she loved. Sometimes life would get in the way, but Donna and I stayed close through the years. We marked the milestones in our lives as the cartwheels turned to car wheels through the town. We bitched about politics, gossiped about the news business, cavilled over what was happening with our kids, and bemoaned what was happening to our necks as they started to look more and more like Ronald Reagan's. She called me Katrina. I called her Donala. She was there for me through good times and bad. When I miraculously got the job anchoring the Today Show, Donna was there. When my husband Jay was diagnosed with colon cancer, Donna was there. When I was having a difficult time at CBS, Donna was there. When I dove back into the dating pool and got dumped more than once, Donna was there. There was a period of time when I would often call her at 4 a.m. "I'm sorry, Bernie." She'd whisper, "Just a second," tiptoe out of her bedroom and go to another room to comfort and console me and explain what terms like delayed grief meant. Donna was a healer, so it made perfect sense when she moved seamlessly from journalism to clinical psychology. Gosh, think of how much money we all saved in therapy bills. We were so proud of her. She never stopped learning and growing and expanding her mind and her heart, and most importantly, helping others. It's ironic that the best person to navigate the trauma of this loss would have been Donna herself. And although she had transitioned to a new career, a new calling really, she never stopped being engaged in the world and what was happening. I've thought about her so much as the horrifying events in Israel continued to unfold. WWDS, I wondered, what would Donna say? As many of us know, Donna was focused on the future. She was so excited to write a book using all her hard-earned wisdom that would help people, especially young girls, understand their worth in a world that often values all the wrong things. She loved her little apartment on Fifth Avenue, overlooking the park. It had both a calming and invigorating effect on her. She was thrilled to be a grandmother. I'm just sorry I never saw her in action, but from everything I've heard, her Nana Donna skills were next level, and the bond she formed with Eloise, Seb, and Izzy, unbreakable. Meanwhile, Zach and Jake, you know how fiercely she loved you. When she described her latest career moves, she was bursting with pride. She was so proud of your extraordinary wives, Alicia and Laura, and the lives you've created. And Bernie. She adored you. Through it all, the ups and downs, the challenges that were thrown your way, you were her person. She not only loved you, she understood you. And to be known and loved so completely, that is more than any one of us could ask for. I'd give anything to have a little more time with Donna, to look into those sparkling eyes, to listen to her slightly husky yet mellifluous voice, to hear that high-pitched laugh that was really more like a trill, to watch her as she would knowingly nod with her head slightly cocked, to bask in the warmth of her love, to tell her how much she meant to me, to tell her that I too would become a grandmother in the not too distant future, and to hear her tell me for the umpteenth time that it's the greatest thing that ever happened to her. Wendy has spent the last few days reading old emails and texts between her and Donna so she could feel connected to one of her oldest and dearest friends. It's amazing how our phones contain a digital history of our lives and relationships. This is what Wendy wanted to say today. Donna, the last 3 days have seemed endless. All I keep thinking is, I wish I had the chance to share one more laugh, one more brilliant idea on how to save CNN, or one more conversation about our kids, just one more moment to share with you. So I'm going to send you one last text so I can tell you exactly what you have always meant to me. I hope you can hear me. Dearest Donna, our 40-plus years of friendship has brought us from kids to seniors. And throughout those years, there is one word I would use to describe you, and that is a giver. There has never been a time that you haven't done everything you can for everyone in your life. You would spend endless hours on the phone or on a walk with loved ones just to simply listen. Your silence and your calm advice was profound. I've never heard a negative word about you. Of course, we know you are brilliant and a deep thinker, but your kindness, your heart, is what will stay with me forever. I will honor your memory by trying to be more like you. The devotion you had to your work and to helping others heal is magical, but you always remembered what was most important to you, and that is being a mother, a grandmother, and a wife. Your family is your biggest accomplishment, and they are the luckiest family in the world to have you. My heart breaks for all of us left on earth without you, but I want to thank you for your love and your laughter. I am going to miss you quietly every day. I will pick out a star in the sky and look up and smile at you for the rest of my life. I know you'll be watching over all of us, guiding our lives with your gentle touch and tender, loving heart. So, my dear Donna, thank you for being such a bright light in my life, and our lives. You will live on forever in our hearts and in our smiles. I know that's what you would want. Love, Wendy. I did the same thing. One of my last texts from Donna was this: "Hi, Katie!" Exclamation point. I'm in NYC for 2 weeks. I'm staying with the kids in Brooklyn this week as Jake and Laura are away. Around next week, too. Let me know if you want to go for a walk in the park next week. I was traveling, so I didn't get to see Donna when she was in New York for the last time. We both thought there will be a next time. She ended that last text this way: Please remember that I am always here to talk to, no matter what's bothering you, or thoughts you might be thinking, or issues you're needing to address." She signed off with 2 emojis, a heart and a kiss. That was Donna, always there. I guess in a way, Donna left us all a blueprint for a life well lived, to always make time, to remember what's important, to be present, to cherish the ones we love. Donna, we will miss you so much. Thank you for everything. How incredibly lucky we were.
Hi everyone, I'm Jake, Donna's youngest son, and I'd like to tell you a few stories about my mom, if you wouldn't mind. My mom was a private person who, in a lot of ways, kept out of the spotlight that my dad created. But off stage, she was incredibly busy, touching a remarkable number of people's lives, from fleeting encounters to decades-long relationships. She had a traumatic childhood that brought her from the Jewish communities of northern New Jersey to distant beaches and unpaved roads in Barbados. In New Jersey, she witnessed a lot of broken relationships and a lot of heartache. In Barbados, she learned that there is peace on the other side of inexplicable pain. In New Jersey, she often sought refuge in the quietness of the woods behind her house. And here in these woods, in these quiet moments she had to herself, she learned how to appreciate being alive and being present, hearing rustling trees and feeling the breeze. She learned how to take control of her own situation, and she learned how to be in charge. She learned how to take a deep breath. And she learned how to take care of herself, which enabled her to take care of others. More than anything, my mom loved deeply, and she took the lessons of wound and hurt from her broken family and made them right in her own life. She took great pride in looking after her younger sister, Leah, and crying alongside her brother, Josh. She loved my Grandma Rita and Grandma Ellen for all they were capable of loving in return. She found the warmth of Barbara Helton and called Barb her mother by choice. From the moment she first met her future daughters-in-law, Laura and Alicia, she showed them unparalleled love and deference. Some of my fondest memories of late was my mom confiding in me about how amazing of a mother she thought Laura was. If ever my flight home from a work trip got delayed, she'd savor the chance to have dinner with Laura alone, just the two of them. She built real and lasting relationships with Zach and my in-laws, her makotunim, as she was quick to say. And she took such pride in the close friends in my life, always sure to use their nicknames, not their real names, when asking about them, like the cool mom she was. She loved her Eloise, she loved her Sebi, she loved her Izzy. She loved my dad beautifully and deeply for 43 years. She made him laugh more than the rest of us, except Zach. Sadly, Zach was first. But more than anyone else, she loved Zach and me. She cared for a lot of people in her life, a lot of whom are here today. But Zach and I were her masterpiece, truly her life's work as she saw it. The three of us were as close as three humans could be. She treated us with profound mutual respect that made us the men we are today. She taught us about the breeze and how to cook and how to treat women. She taught us about Eastern philosophy and cable news. She taught us to do something right or to not do it at all. She recently told me about how lucky she was to get all of those years learning from us as kids, learning about life all over again through our eyes. As a friend put in a letter yesterday, I always admired your mom growing up. The ultimate boy mom with a cool career and an amazing family. My mom's big saying for Zach and me was always two brothers. When we'd get in our twin beds as kids, she'd say, two brothers. When we posed for photos at each other's wedding, she was standing on the side saying, two brothers. I'm not the point, she'd say. Someday I won't be here. And all that will remain is the bond between the two brothers. She insisted that we never fight, that we're never competitive, and more than anything, that we root for each other's success and be there for each other always. A family friend texted me yesterday. Your mom was championing young women of late, but she learned everything she was espousing from raising two strong boys. Two brothers. Two brothers must and will be Zach and your legacy to your mother. The worst part of that closeness was having to say goodbye. I remember the night she and I dropped Zach off at college, and I was a mess the whole ride home. If you can't tell, I'm the crier in the family. We got home and stood in the garage for an hour just holding each other, sobbing in each other's arms. She told me, Jakey, we're gonna get through this together. I promise you that we will. I really wanted to tell a story that summed up Mom, but there really isn't one, which I kind of think is the point. She excelled at the quiet moments and all the in-between times that the rest of us miss. Every weeknight cooking dinner with her were the best moments of my life. Every time I'd cuddle up next to her as she edited my school papers and taught me how to write were the best moments of my life. When she showed up at the hospital the night Eloise was born with a rolly suitcase filled with Gatorade was the best moment of my life. As everyone knows, my mom was of great health up until this terrible tragedy occurred. She watched our 4-year-old daughter and 2-year-old son for a week by herself just 3 weeks ago. Afterwards, she texted me, and I'd like to read her text out loud. Hi, Jakey! Exclamation point. Thank you for the amazing memories I got to create with your beautiful children these past few days. It was just the best. I will cherish my mornings with Seb before the sun was out and watching him smush berries at lunch. I'll cherish my adventures with Eloise, to school and to ballet and to piano and everywhere in between. But most of all, I'll cherish the quiet moments, just coloring or watching the rain with them. I'm just so appreciative of it all. Mom, we'll cherish all the quiet moments we got with you too. And every time we get sad about the quiet moments we're now going to miss, we promise to take a deep breath and appreciate all the moments we did get together. I love you. Thank you.
Excuse me. Hello, everyone. I would like to talk about my mother, Donna, for a moment. It's funny to try to tell this room who Donna was, since being in her presence for 5 minutes would tell you everything you needed to know. But I'm so grateful to say that I got to be with her for 36 years. And over the last 3 days, I've come to understand that she will be with me for the rest of my life. She was the most brilliant mind, the sharpest wit, the warmest, most decent human being to everyone and everything. She taught me how to see the world and how to see myself. She taught me about Sondheim and Ed Murrow. And she taught me that what you do in life, only thing that matters in life is what you do when no one's watching. The first thing I knew about this world was that I had the most amazing, special mother. This, of course, won't do it justice, but I remember when I was in first grade, the Birmingham Theater nearby had a live production of The Wizard of Oz. And I remember at intermission, all the other mothers made their sons go home because it was bedtime or whatever. And I turned to her and I said, "Do we have to go home too?" And she said, "Of course not." I always thought that was for me, so that I didn't lose the catharsis or meaning of the show or something, but later she told me she just wanted to see the ending. And that's how she raised Jake and me. That's how she raised me and Jake, who I will get to in a moment. She raised us like she was raising herself, or at least that's what she told me thousands of times. We talked about death a lot. It was our favorite topic of conversation. She studied mindfulness for 30 years, studied with Pema Chodron. She became a Shambhalan Buddhist meditation instructor. She lived according to mindfulness practice before she even had a word for it. This is almost completely unrelated, but one time the Dalai Lama was in town in New York, and she wanted to see him speak, and of course she took me with her like she did everything. We didn't have tickets or anything, so somehow we snuck into a speech by the Dalai Lama. And somehow we ended up on the stage near the side where he was speaking, and the entire row leading up to us was Tibetan monks. So it was the Dalai Lama speaking, and then a whole row of monks, and then Mom and me. She took me to China, where we traveled to Tibet together. At every stop, we would have a guide, and after 20 minutes, I would go take a picture or something and come back, and Donna would be hearing the guide's entire life story. Her cruel husband or the poverty she lived in. She was so deeply interested in people, in suffering, in joy, and kindness. She lived so presently, so in the moment, so openly and empathetically, whether it was our guide in Tibet or me. Little stories can't do justice to the ocean of warmth and presence. She would get upset with me for even suggesting it was some kind of choice and not just the way she wanted to live, which is true. Donna was also funny, the funniest, wisest person I have ever known. To be funny, I think, is to be smart. It's having an understanding of the world and having a take on it. And it's at its core being a pissed off humanitarian who wants things to be different. And that is who Donna was. She loved to laugh. That's part of why she married TV's Bernie Smilovitz, as I call him. And that's why I wanted to be funny, was to hear her laugh. I also suspect that she wanted that too, since she gave me Steve Martin albums when I was a little kid before I could use the monkey bars. But I still can't use the monkey bars. Donna was an incredibly career-driven woman too, with enormous promise and TV presence, as everyone has seen, and she decided to give that up to be a mother. I always apologize to her for that. I still feel guilty about it, but she told me that she always dreamed of being a mother. It was part of her plan. She was a mother figure to my incredible Aunt Leah and Uncle Josh, who are warm and kind, to my wife Alicia, who found a total kindred spirit in Donna, who had 10 beautiful years together. And Alicia says that that Donna saw into Alicia's soul as much as any person in her life, and my mother felt the same, and I know Laura felt the same too. Donna also kind of raised TV's Bernie Smilovitz into the man he is today. a present, genuine, decent man who Jake and I are so proud to be our father, and who has handled this impossibly horrible week with such openness and tenderness. I only can assume that's the work of Mom. And Jakey. I remember when Jakey was born, Donna sat me down and told me the bad news, that there would be another. Actually, she told me that a very special person was coming, and he would be my best friend for the rest of my life. And although every parent says that, she was right. She made it a mission of her life. My first memory in life is my dad and me driving to the hospital, walking into my mom's hospital room and seeing her there in bed. And she told me to come lay down next to her, and there she introduced me to Jake. And from then on, the three of us were inseparable. Like Jake said, there was no fighting. It was, if a scuffle started, she would threaten to make us have a tea party. Or she would say, and I understand this is much more fraught today, she would say, if you two can't get along, how are Israel and Palestine supposed to get along? She said that to 6-year-olds. But we always knew we were on the same team. Jake, you're my best friend, and you and I will be together forever. I have thought about my mother's death my entire life. It's been my greatest nightmare. And Mom and I talked about her dying a lot, mostly because I think Donna liked talking about stuff like that. She said, Thich Nhat Hanh said that meditation on death makes us more appreciative of life. And there was no one more appreciative of life. Donna taught me something else, too, which was leave nothing unsaid. And she and I left nothing unsaid. I think she left nothing unsaid with a lot of people in her life. She wanted me to understand that we were born into this world, which is a miracle, and the price of that miracle is that someday we must die. Or, as she later also told me, nothing is born and nothing dies. Mom, I will do my best to live as honorably as you would see fit. I will try to carry your love and light throughout my life, and to my daughter, Izzy. I will miss you more than I can bear to imagine right now. And I will love you always. Thank you, Mom.
Hi, I'm TV's Bernie Smilovitz. I've just come to give some brief comments, and because you certainly cannot top those three that were here. First, we want to thank everyone who came from everywhere to be here today. The outpouring of love and support over the past few days has just been overwhelming, and of course, coming here today to honor Donna is something our family would never forget. On the other hand, Donna and I were married for 38 years. In fact, our first date was October 10th, 1980, exactly 43 years ago today. And knowing her as well as I do, I can tell you, she is pissed. Absolutely pissed at all of you. She's not someone that ever wanted to be celebrated, and she just wanted to help others, as you have heard. I can tell you she's annoyed that you have done this. The one thing you may not know about Donna is she had a wicked sense of humor. I mean, wicked, biting. And she spared no one. This past May, I had cataract surgery, which to me is the first sign you are really old. Donna was just sitting back and waiting for the right moment. We would go out to dinner with friends, we would sit down, order drinks, and she took great delight in saying to everyone, "Hey, did you notice Bernie got his eyes done?" Not exactly the same as cataract surgery, but we'll take it. I'm going to wrap this up because Donna never wanted the attention. Her entire life was about helping people. That's why she became a clinical psychologist, helping others in any way she could. Beautiful, brilliant, with compassionate empathy for all. She checked every box, and she will be missed dearly. A friend came over a couple nights ago and said Donna was like a supernova. She delivered her message of love to all and now has become a light inside everyone she touched. If you would allow me just a private moment with Donna, she never left anything unsaid, as you heard everyone say. She was direct in the kindest, gentlest way possible. So Donna, I know you're here, I know you're listening, and I know you got 2 questions you want answered. First, yes, I will water the plants every Friday, and a half can goes into the palms. I know, I've heard it. And second, I will care for our children and grandchildren as if you were standing next to me the entire way. Donna, you are in all of us, and for that we will be forever grateful. I love you, Donna. I will love you forever.
By request of the family, I have the privilege of sharing a song that has become one of those beautiful memories that Donna made with her grandchildren, and one that I hope they will continue to share. Around the world, I've searched for you. I've traveled on when hope was gone to keep our rendezvous. I knew somewhere, sometime, somehow, you'd look at me and I would see the smile you're smiling now. It might have been in County Down, or in New York, in gay Paris, or even London town. No more will I go all around the world, for I have found my world in you. No more will I go all around the world, for I have found my world in you.
Donna would sing that song with someone very special, didn't she? I bet you even know the words, don't you? I told the family that I would edit my eulogy after listening to the eulogies already delivered. In our tradition, we say, Devarim sheyotzim min halev nichnasim el halev, words that come forth from the hearts of those who speak them enter the hearts instantly of those who hear them. I have a really long eulogy here, but I'm going to find ways to edit. I'm going to give a bit of history. Donna was born in New Jersey, the daughter of Ellen Schwartz and Herbert Rockwell. We offer condolences to her siblings, Josh and wife Claire, sister Leah, brother-in-law Harvey, nieces and nephews Ava, Lily, Shayna, and Michael, who were so important to her, As was indicated, 14 years she lived in New Jersey and then moved with the family to Barbados. Her siblings described her, and I think in hearing these words you get a sense of who she was even as a young child. Growing up, Donna was our second mother. She was a phenomenal role model. She excelled in school and in sports and was always with many friends. Our sister took care of us. She filled the void we experienced with our father being distant and Mom newly remarried. When your mother returned to the States to care for her ill husband who died a year and a half after marriage, Donna, at 16, was the caretaker. She was in charge and she was capable. And as you said so beautifully in our family meeting, she filled an incredibly large void in your lives. You spoke about Nana Rose, your grandmother, a constant support for the three of you. And we all need someone like this when our life is chaotic. From Rose, you received unconditional love. The role she played compensated for the trauma you faced at home. You felt the joy she experienced in your presence. You recognized that your sister's love was always an extension of Grandma Rose's love. A repeated theme, and you've heard it in all eulogies delivered. She was a leader, a caretaker in every life situation. Donna finished high school in Barbados. She went to Hampshire College in Amherst, Massachusetts, then to grad school at the American University in Washington, earning a master's in journalism and communications. So now I get to tell a story that should make us all smile. Bernie, when you went to work in Washington, you were told by your colleagues, you should have been here last year. We had a remarkable, bright, beautiful, and talented intern, Donna. You would have fallen in love with her. A year later, she came back to the office to say hello to her friends. Picking up a salad for the other anchors, she offered you the same. You asked her, "Who are you?" She responded, "My name is Donna." Recalling the moment, she would tell you that your reaction to her presence, a prayerful, "Oh my God," for her response, which was more earthy and less theological, "Ask Bernie." You had a first date. You called her immediately, asked, "What are you doing?" Her response, "Washing dishes." You answered, "I do not want to interrupt." Conversation over. An example of humor getting in the way. 4 months later, her girlfriend said, "Call Donna." You sat at the stoop, talked and kissed. It took you all 5 years to stand under and get married and recognize how blessed. We remember your parents, Rita and Izzy, thrilled to have your wife in their lives. Your mom, a Holocaust survivor, 2 years in Auschwitz. Donna was a blessing in her life. Whenever possible, spending time with her. I'm not going to describe the career because it's already been done by someone who was actually there, and I might add something that has nothing to do with reality. Bernie, you began the conversation of her role as mother with a comment, "My sons are who they are today because of Donna." Many were the hours where you were away, and I, in my profession, understand that fact. You could not have asked for a more loving partner who understood that being a mom was her most important life choice. Zach and Alicia, Jake and Laura, if you decided to speak what you did, you have described your relationship with your mother. I can only tell you that any parent sitting in this community or listening from afar would simply want our children to have the kind of relationship that you had with your mother. She impacted your life in every way possible. She treated you as adults. You were best friends. When you were with her, you were the person that mattered. She was smart, as you described. And I love the fact that she thought in ways that enabled you to recognize that nothing should be left unsaid. A relationship developed every night at bedtime. And I'm going to teach this one to all of us. There was a moment of appreciation, you said. Before sleep, an opportunity for you to share your feelings about what happened during the day, appreciating the day that passed. So many lessons. Be the river and let feelings flow through you. It matters what you do when no one is looking. And I thought it was also, when we spoke at our meeting, you described she had a specific and different relationship with each of you. She knew what was important to each of you individually. It wasn't a matter of treating you only as two sons, but finding ways to connect. She loved being with you, as you've already described. Zach, you were 14 and Jake 12 when your mother told the family. Imagine, she has a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. I'm going back to school and become a doctor. She became the clinical psychologist you all knew. She had just changed in her mind, able to practice in Michigan and New York, a new career, where, as already described, she touched so many lives. She practiced a beautiful way with those she cared about, her clients. It was suggested the way she raised her sons, counseled her clients, was related to her own early childhood trauma, to teach and to heal those around her, and in so doing herself. I want to talk to the two daughters through marriage. It is rare that I get to sit with a family and hear daughters through, and I'm not using daughters through marriage, describe the person they're blessed with. First of all, you said you were so appreciative of the husband she raised, so lucky to have Donna in your lives as a mom. You knew that you had hit the jackpot with Donna. Your family's welcomed into her life. She wanted everyone to be close. And she was thrilled to have a daughter, the energy in the male house now reduced. She got to know each of you on a personal level. When you were traveling, she was there to stay with your children, to support you and her baby when your baby was in the NICU. You have lost simply a mother and a best friend. And the family growing up had a remarkable woman in their life, Barb, housekeeper, but really second mom. And I can't tell you how beautifully you described her. Every member of the family so appreciative. When Donna's mom was ill and aging, she was in Barbados to take care of her. And it's already been spoken about, Eloise, Sebastian, and Izzy, how much she loved you and how proud she was of you and how she had so much fun with you. It was suggested that she spent the last 5 years gearing up to be a grandmother, apartment in New York to be close, a license to practice, and her oldest is apparently exactly like her, so proud. She wanted to be her Nana Rose to the family. She sang special songs, and we got to hear one of them today. She woke up early to be with you. You explored the world together, created this past August Camp Nana, arts and crafts, gardening and piano. Bernie and Donna taking all of you, taking you on field trips. With COVID, one son family moving back to Detroit, additional beautiful memories, including Donna recalling her video skills on the camera as Bernie, you did the TV show from home. And Bernie, you added, we were blessed, as you indicated, friends for 43 years and married for 38. Donna gave love out like no tomorrow. She was truly an amazing human being, totally present, as we all know, for everyone in her life. As our conversation was ending, looking forward, her son philosophically stated, it is a miracle to be born. To be born is to die. I have to be grateful. We are beginning the slow process of healing, and gratitude for a life beautifully lived will be the guide. Family and friends have come into this chapel, overwhelmed with the suddenness of her death. We recognize that she leaves behind an incredible legacy, a family that loves and appreciates her, and so much good that she did in this world while she was with us. Donna is at peace. We pray that her beloved, kind, and giving soul has returned to the source of all life, has now returned to God. At this point, I ask you to rise for the traditional prayers.
מלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, המצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה. עם קדושים וטורים, כזוהר הרקיע מסירים, את נשמת דבורה בת חיים אלישבע, שהלכה לעולמה. בעל הרחמים, יסתיריה בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ויצרור החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום, בשלום על משכבה. ונאמר אמן.
We now join in the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chaye echon v'yom echon v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'zman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam Lomei Olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yittadar v'yitale v'yithalal Shmei Dekudesha Brichu Li'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to our beloved Donna, who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge in your presence, and may her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace. And let us all say, Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude the service. You may return to your cars at this time. On behalf of the family, thank you for coming.